Hello everyone, how are you? My name is Corbin Reed and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I am back home in Los Angeles. I'm not sure if this video is going to come out before some other videos. I'm currently, I've literally been home for like 5 days and I've already, the stairs have been completely remodeled. There was like carpeting on the stairs in my house and I took that up and made it match my floors that were put throughout when we moved in a little over a year ago. So I'm working on an entryway makeover, a hallway makeover for the second floor hallway because I have a bunch of pieces coming in from Hudson. There's different lighting going in the stairs. I'm doing some stuff with the artwork, and I'm also going to be like longer term working on an office makeover. Going to be lime washing the walls in here. There's some new pieces coming in from CB2 and some antique pieces. Some shelves are going to be going up. I'm going to do like some shelf styling stuff. But aside from all of that, I also have just like little bits and pieces of things that I'm going to do around the house that aren't like room makeovers. Oh, also a bedroom makeover. I got a new bed and I'm going to be painting the wall and new lighting is going in and all that. Aside from those 4 makeover videos, I have little bits and pieces around the house, rooms that I've already sort of like put together in a way that I feel really good about. Or like some architectural elements, like I bought some like vintage brackets that I'm going to put in on some shelves in the bedroom off of my office. They're really beautiful. So I'm gonna show you like the before and after of that and do like a little shelf styling. In this video, I bought a coffee table, a new coffee table, which I just adore. It's actually imported from either Turkey or Morocco, and it's like this beautiful, chunky, aged wood. I got it from a store called Olive Atelier, and I did a little vlog style, so I'll insert footage of that there once I work on the coffee table and I'm ready to put it in upstairs in the living room so you can see like where it came from. This video, I'm gonna take you through like what I do to it because it's raw wood and it's aged wood. But in my experience working with wood and just like sanding down to the raw wood and then trying to like polyurethane spray or whatever, you really have to get it right, and if you don't, you'll get like, if you put a drink on it even once, you'll get like ring marks on the wood. And this wood is so beautiful, I don't want to ruin it. So I'm contemplating, I bought some poly stain. In this video, I'm gonna test it out, see what that looks like in case you too at home have like a raw piece of wood furniture that you want to protect, that you know that you're going to be using as like a high traffic surface, like a coffee table or a console table or whatever. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. We're going to work on the brackets for some shelves, and I'll do a little styling there, and then we're going to work on the coffee table, the new coffee table, and you'll also get to see like a little bit of my living room like before and after with that, and I'll do some styling on the coffee table, and that'll be that. So yeah, if you've been tuning in, you know, welcome to my home in LA, and let's get into it. Okay, so welcome to my living room. This is the first time I'm really showing this space. Again, the videos I put up first were from when I was filming in the apartment I was Airbnb-ing in New York, which was fun, but this is my home. This is the 3rd floor, and I've done a lot in this room. I think when we moved in, I sort of focused on this main space because this is where we like entertain. This is where we sort of like, I mean, the kitchen's over there. I'm gonna do a little, just like a quick room tour so you can get a sense of like what this room is like, but this has felt like the best room to start with in terms of like really getting it right, because I wanted to have people over as soon as possible, especially because we bought this home in the middle of a pandemic and, you know, a lot of restaurants were closed, a lot of things were shut down. So I just wanted to have a space where I could gather with people. Anyways, this is the space. I'm gonna do a quick little just like show around, room tour, so you can see what it looks like. I'm gonna show you the current coffee table I have here. This coffee table I got off of Facebook Marketplace, and I actually quite like it, but it's just, once I stripped it down, it came with a very kind of like unattractive cherry stain, like a very dated cherry stain veneer on it. And once I stripped it down, there were like sort of like these, it's oak, so there were very pronounced sort of like dark grain lines in the graining, and I don't know, it's a little aggressive to me. I didn't think it was gonna be so aggressive. I thought it might be a little bit more of like like one neutral sort of tone. And I'll show you up close what I'm talking about. But then I stained it an antique white, and like I used like a cloth, and it used this stuff called antiquing wax, and I just went in with a cloth and I sort of like slowly just sort of like picked spots to make it look older and make it look like, I don't know, get the wood to a place where I could like it more. But honestly, it's just been a placeholder. I knew as soon as I did that, and I got it stripped down, that I wasn't in love with the wood grain. But it's so hard to find wood coffee tables. Like, it's so hard to find the right one, and it's so hard to find one that isn't a bajillion dollars. Real wood right now is so expensive, and that's part of the reason why I've gotten into just like going on Facebook Marketplace and buying pieces that are older, stripping them and sanding them and staining them, because it's so much more cost effective, and also the quality of the wood is just so beautiful. And people don't realize that if you just sand strip and stain something, if it's the right kind of wood, you see these things on like amber interiors, like going for like $4,000. There's a piece downstairs, which I found that one on Facebook Marketplace. I stripped it, I sanded it, I stained it, and it really just looks like an amber interiors piece, or like something you might see on like Studio McGee, which are two websites that are obviously like very trendy right now, and they do a really good job of replicating vintage and antique pieces, and which is something near and dear to my heart, which I want to do one day myself. I look on there a lot for inspiration, especially when I'm doing like DIY projects like this table or the console, the cabinet downstairs in my entryway. That is the spiel on this room for the most part. These pieces are from all over the place. Some of the artwork is from Home Goods. This table, my dining room table, is a vintage travertine dining table, which I sourced from this vintage dealer in, I think, Inglewood, California. Some pieces are from Amazon. The couches are, it's actually a sectional that I split up into two. And these are from Nate and Jeremiah's line, or living spaces, believe it or not. I think they look so much more expensive than that. Some stuff's from Etsy. Some stuff is like decor pieces are from estate sales or Big Daddy's Antiques, or like my Turkish pot here, Olive Atelier, Etsy. And again, we'll try to do a good job of giving you a tour of this room. And if I find that there's interest, I can do a separate video where I like link things. But for now, just so you can get a sense of the space, because again, this is about getting my coffee table up here, my new coffee table up here. And then I can do a whole, because there's so much that went into this room, I can do a whole separate video on like decor and like styling and things, and like link things for you guys in a different video. But I'm not gonna do that here. I'll just give you like a quick sense of the space, and then we'll get into like figuring out how to make this new beautiful coffee table work so that I don't ruin it. Okay, so this is what you see when you first come up the stairs to the third floor. Is the kitchen, essentially. In this wall vignette, I put a sconce above this original painting from the 1980s that I got off of Etsy. This bar cart, a vintage stone bowl, and this large sort of vase, and there's some barware stuff hid in that basket there. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the kitchen because I'm going to do a completely separate video on some stuff that I'm working on in there later, and stuff that I've worked on and styling and all that. But this is more so just about the living room and getting a sense of where the coffee table is going. This is our vintage Italian travertine dining table. and has some penton chairs around it, which is like a Danish or Scandinavian design from the 60s. These are in rattan, and I just put some like sheepskin hides on top of it to make them more comfortable. And that's the coffee table that we currently have that I spoke about earlier. There's a vintage Turkish rug underneath there, which has this sort of like weathering on it that looks like a stain, but it's not a stain. These are the ceilings. They're super duper high. There's some great views as you go like up the stairs to the loft, out those windows. These are some like pommel style leather ottomans, which I just kind of have there for layering and texturing. And this console's gonna change. It's old. This is a mirror from Horchow. That's like a recreation of a French gilded mirror. I actually have two of them in the living room on either side of the stairs, kind of framing them. A big olive tree in the corner. It is faux. I cannot keep real plants, especially of that size, alive. And yeah, this is the general feeling of the room. Again, I'm going to do a video detailing more so like styling with links and all of this stuff, but you guys have never seen my home and you've never seen this room that I'm sort of going to introduce you to. And this is the coffee table. You can just see the wood grain is very like intense, and I wanted something more neutral, which is what I got. So this is Olive Atelier. Oh my god, it's the Mecca. I'm not going to show you I filmed a lot more in here, but I don't want to ruin it because I'm going to do a shelf styling video, and I got a bunch of pieces that I want to share with you later, and I'll give you like a full sort of tour of the drop in case you're ever in LA and you want to check it out. They do it every 2 weeks, but these pieces are from Morocco and Turkey, and they fly them in and then they like ship them over, and you can line up to get your goodies of antique and vintage Turkish pots. And it's really like an embarrassment of riches. These pots can go for so much money, and I actually think they're pretty reasonably priced here, but the woods and the pots and the limestone, it's amazing. So this is just a quick sneak peek. I just got coffee table. We love her. She's stunning. For my living room, look how beautiful. Just to give the tea before I leave here, I originally was going to get this table off of Anthropologie, but this table is so much better. It's like rustic and gorgeous, and it's like an actual antique. So anyways, I also got some other stuff, which I'll show you when I get back home. But there's this Turkish pot and this honey pot, which I've been wanting for so long, this teak pot. Anyways, everything's in my car. I'm gonna head back home now, but I did pretty good at the Olive Atelier drop, but it's super dope. Check them out. Okay, so I'm out in my garage, and this is the coffee table. Right now, it's just laying on its side. So as you can see, like the wood is very raw, just giving like a better look. And as I said earlier, if I don't polyurethane it, I'm afraid, as much as I love the way it looks right now, I'm afraid that I put anything on it, it's gonna stain like, I'll show you, my entryway table did when I did a shitty job with it. Just, that's what happened to it after I like polyurethaned it. I only did it one time. So we can't have that. So I'm gonna test, excuse me. I'm gonna test the underside of this table with the polyurethane, just like a strip of it, and then see if that, my biggest concern at the moment is whether or not if it's going to destroy the wood, like change the color of the wood. So I just wanna make sure that if I'm going to go through polyurethaning it, so I don't destroy it. So that's what I'm doing right now. Let's get into it. So at this point, I have already tested the underside of the table,
and it looked good. I let it dry, and it dried, and it did not look shiny or change the color of the wood too much. So I'm just in this portion going ahead and putting on the first coat of the polyurethane stain with a brush.
Okay, so this is what it looks like after the first coat has dried on it. And it did change the top of the table a little tiny bit. For the most part, there are just like some like extra little markings on here, but it's nothing crazy. And for the second coat, I have to sand it anyways. So, but for the most part, it really did preserve the table. So I feel like, generally speaking, it's not going to be much different. Like, the only thing that's going to be different is it's protected from water stain. So I'm going to put on the second coat now, and I'm going to sand it first, lightly sand it, put on the second coat, and then let it dry for 24 hours. And honestly, that'll be that. Like, now I'm just going to add the second coat. I had to buy another can of polyurethane because I spilled mine all over the floor. I literally said in my head, it's okay if I spill a little bit of this on the garage floor because I don't have like a cover down on the ground. And then I spilled the whole can. The power of thought. That's why you shouldn't think about what you're not going to do. You should always think about what you are going to do. Because when you think about what you're not going to do, it's still focusing on the thing, and then it happens.
So this is after the second coat has dried. I had my fiance help me drag this up the stairs. It weighed 1,000,000 pounds, but it looks beautiful, and it turned out so well.
setup in my guest bathroom, office bathroom. I called it a bedroom earlier. This is not a bedroom, it's a bathroom. The shelves have been like this again for like 5 months. I have like a frame on there. A couple of these things are from Target, and actually they're still available, so I can link them. That little ceramic pot is thrifted. The fake plant is from IKEA. The little like iron thing is from Target. That ring is from IKEA. The towel ring and the Turkish towels from Amazon. Light fixtures from Amazon. It's like a mid-century modern globes type tile light fixture. I completely redid this bathroom. Well, not completely. I mean, it was just, everything was builder grade. Like, I took off the builder grade mirror. I replaced the faucet from silver to black. And then I decorated it with, of course, like aged pieces, like this vintage dough bowl. I actually got this off of Etsy. It's from, I believe, from Turkey or the Ukraine or something. And then this stone ceramic dish, which I believe I got off of Amazon. That little brass container, which I keep my makeup sponges in because I don't like to look at them, is from World Market, actually, and I got that recently. So I'll link some of this stuff because these are decor items that I remember where everything's from, and I can link it in case you're interested for shelf styling. And then this vase is I got this off of HomeDepot.com, I think. I believe the brand is called Zintique. And then these are faux stems that I think I got from Hobby Lobby because there's no window in this bathroom, so if I put plants in here, they'll just die. I tried. But yeah, and then I just, again, everything for me is about design that tells a story. I like things that look aged. This stool I got from a store called Old Good Things. It's an antique vintage store downtown LA. The frame is thrifted, and that print was a gift. And I put it in the frame just to make it look more expensive. It wasn't in a frame at all, but putting a old frame on a print is a perfect way to trick your eye and people's eye into thinking that it's an expensive piece of artwork that was his original painting. So that's a quick overview of the bathroom. So I am here in my bathroom. I'm getting ready to install these antique cast iron shelf brackets. They have a really beautiful detail on them. I found these in Hudson, and the idea is they're going to go on these shelves that I showed prior. They kind of just barely fit. They just barely fit. I'm going to just put them in, not as like a literal support. I'm just gonna kind of drill into the shelf and then drill into the wall. I'll show you here. There's a gap actually underneath, but the detail is so pretty, and I just think it's a really beautiful architectural element. Again, there's no real sort of function for this. It's just, I think it's really, really pretty, and you can kind of see, just show you some angles there of how it's gonna look. But I have 4 of them, so I'm going to just kind of quickly install these. I'm just gonna grab my drill and install one on each side of the shelf. Honestly, that'll be that. That's like the first thing I'm gonna do. And then I have some really fun decor pieces, some newer decor pieces that I picked up in Hudson again. And some other places I've picked up some on, excuse me, something just fell, on Etsy and thrift stores and antique stores and vintage stores over the past sort of few months. So I'm just gonna give these shelves a little bit of a refresh. I think they're really pretty as is, but just gonna like switch out a couple of the pieces after I add these in, just because I feel like this is bringing like a whole new vibe, and I like to switch things up on a regular basis. So let's get into it. So the first thing I'm doing is just taking all of this stuff off of the walls, off of the shelves, so I can not have anything falling on me when I'm drilling into the walls and putting the brackets up. Next, I just clean the shelves off because they're dusty and I haven't cleaned them off in a while.
And then I just went in with the brackets, and they have like holes in the back. So initially I took a pen, but that didn't really work because the holes were too small. So I ended up having to sort of just take a nail and just poke through the hole. And that was how I made my markings on the wall, so that I knew where to drill to put the drywall anchors in, because these things are really heavy. I couldn't just put them on a regular nail. They would have certainly just fallen out of the wall. Then I just went in with my drill and drilled through the markings on the wall that I made, so that I could, again, put the drywall anchor screws in on all four corners of the shelves. Okay, so I just finished screwing in the brackets to all four shelves, and I mean, just from this, like, it's such a beautiful difference. It's a little strange, I will say, because it's just dust from the drywall. I have to wipe that off, but there is a little bit of a space on these, which it doesn't bother me that much. Again, these aren't actually, this one I have to fix, but these aren't actually serving a functional purpose. They're just basically for aesthetics, and I think it adds a really nice, again, just architectural element into the bathroom to make it look less sterile and just add more character. So really happy with how it turned out. Here is just a little bit of like a detail shot, so you can kind of see what it looks like, what it's looking like. And I am gonna go ahead and add some styling elements on to the brackets here. And then that'll basically be that for this portion of the video in the bathroom. Okay, now for the fun part. I'm just gonna add some pieces that I have here and style the shelves up. They were styled before. The styling is a couple of years old. Not a couple of years, oh my God. I haven't even been in this house for a couple of years. The styling is maybe like 6 months old. So I just want to freshen up. I've gotten some new pieces that I just want to add. I'm just gonna play around with it a little bit and see what comes up. And yeah, so here we go. Shelves turned out after I finished styling them. I switched up the art piece to another art piece that I got at Target. They just have some really good, like, small framed, pre-framed prints
I believe this one's still available, so I can link this one below. The vase is also from Target. It's from the Hearth and Hand collection. And again, these are all faux plants. The bathroom is very dark. I can't put real plants in there. They would die. But I didn't end up using too much of the stuff that I got in Hudson. I actually really liked what I had here. I just switched out the order of things and some of the ceramic pieces and put a vintage stone plate up there. That I did get in Hudson.